Welcome everyone to the 329th weekly MLP Drawing School live critique stream. Somehow it is already June 21st.
Whoa.
I know, right? I think
I
tomorrow's
can't deal with that.
is tomorrow summer? First
Uh,
day of summer. I
It's
feel like
it's
it's this
already
week.
been summer here. I'm just
yeah, it's the
saying.
21st. It's today. Today's the first day of summer.
It's already been summer for like a week. So like God turned summer on and then turned it off again. You know, like just preheating England. So we're all set up now.
Sounds reasonable.
Mhm.
Well, as you can hear, we have a small collection of people who haven't managed to melt quite yet. We got Alley Claw,
Hello.
and we got Fluffy's Eye. They say hi, but mostly their fluff is saying hi. It's like writing it out in braille.
Yes.
It's an
Fluff is all
interactive
that feeling.
experience. And of course, we got you zombs though.
What?
The
That's
Living
crazy.
Dead.
Crazy.
You're all of them. You are the Living Dead. Just every single one.
That sounds reasonable.
Sweet. That means you're like the hive mind, because like that's one of the zombie theories, right? It's just all hive mind. You are the Living Dead.
All right, I'm willing to go with this one. Is that like combined knowledge, or are you just the lowest common denominator?
We could get technical. I mean, the brain starts rotting when they die, right? So like, is it useful information? Is it not? Bits and pieces? Like this could be a theory we could work out. We can make lore.
The only
Yeah.
information that stuck was cartoon trivia.
It's the only one you need, really.
Also, how to make a certain LG printer work, but only one specific LG printer.
And they stopped making that one, so.
Yeah, it's a dot matrix printer. All right, so here's our collection of art today. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If you got any art you'd like to submit, good luck because we filled the canvas. But if it's like 200 pixels tall, we might be able to do it.
You have to bribe us.
Yeah.
We'll take your art if you go and critique something on the subreddit.
Agreed. All right, so our first picture up is going to be this lovely Luna in the top left-hand corner.
Pretty.
Is by Corinto Kinda. In praise of the sun. Thinking about drawing Celestia next. Any way I can improve for the next time? That mane is fun. And oh my gosh, your tail curve? Yeah! Look at it fold over. Folds over on itself.
That is nice. That is some nice depth there. This is really pretty picture, and I love the shoot for more horse-like anatomy. I think that's always fun to see. It's always fun to see everyone's different style and take on ponies. It's just so versatile and interesting. Looking at this though, I think the one big thing that pokes out to me is since we are leaning into the horse anatomy, her neck is just a little too small here, as well as her head. We have this big barreling chest, and then let me get a better color, and maybe be on top of the layer that the art's on. That could help. Uh, I need you here, and I need you here, and then I can draw. Yay, okay. So we have a nice big barreling chest, which most horses have. They have these huge barrel chests. They're kind of known for these big muscly creatures with tiny legs made of glass because nature. But the neck here is so very small and petite compared to even the connection point of this neck. You see how large it is and how small it gets. We could use just a little more. If we look at real horses, you'll see just how chunky these necks can get. They got a whole head to support. And we can even up the chunkified nature of the head itself. A little bigger. We don't have to make the snoot as long. It doesn't have to be ultra horse realism. But just up those proportions a bit. Give the neck some support, somewhere to hold. And I would highly recommend getting references. I'm not using references right now, and I am wishing I did so I could draw a little more coherently. So if anyone else to talk, I'm gonna look up a reference.
So I like the bouquet you're getting on the back of this leg, the fuzziness going on. But if you're gonna do it on one part, it's going to help to do it to the entire picture, because right now it just feels like this part was hit with a brush accidentally and the rest don't follow it. Like all the grass that's behind it isn't fuzzy, it still has sharp edges. Same as like her mane, which appears to be flowing out but also slightly away from her. So if we're actually getting a lens bokeh, the blurriness that is caused by a wide depth of field, sorry, large, now hold on, small f-stop, there we go, let's get there. um you're gonna have that fuzziness, that uniform fuzziness, or sorry, logarithmic fuzziness happen on other places. And you've done it with the back wing, but I'd also carry it over to the mane as it comes out, and a little bit of the tail. Just start losing some of that sharp, crisp edge you have, and maybe extend it even onto her other front leg up here. Just a little bit of a touch to it, and you can use it to pull her face into the sharp focus, and along with it's about the same plane as the wing, give or take a little touch, but you might be able to take away a little bit of the detail on the wing sharpness and just keep with that sharp face. And then you're going to push that bouquet pretty hard. But I also love that you've gone with it, because not many people are bold enough or willing to try that. And it looks great. As for your next picture about drawing Celestia, is she going to be at night? We're going to be in Praise of the Night? Or in Praise of the Moon?
Ooh. I think that would make a nice contrast.
Mm-hmm. Just love the amount of feathers in this wing. Not too many, not too little. It's just mwah.
Mm-hmm.
Chef kiss. All right. Anyone else have any other comments or critique on this one? All right, then we're gonna hop off to our next one.
Great work. I can't wait to see more.
Yeah. So our next one is by R1057, which is me, Jan 18th, 2022, Pear Butter, My Beloved. Holy cow, words do not work today. And they are saying, please excuse my art if it's bad, I'm only 14. Your art's great. Age be damned. You've made a good horse.
I love the texturing and the shading you have going on in these bumps. Like, you can really tell where you had the dark areas and the light areas, and that really sells the curly, fluffy hair of pear butter. Words are hard today.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing that jumps out to me, first though, like, your coloring is absolutely amazing. I think the things that could be worked on kind of would rely more on the sketch phase with anatomy. There's just some parts, even with the head being cut off by the hair, that are feeling a little iffy. If I were to, let me get a different color. She's bright. Let me go
Green.
blue. Ha! Fought
Blues.
against you.
That's my tablet for a second.
So I'm just drawing a circle here, just kind of get an idea. I'm trying to figure out. I need a bigger eraser. That's. Oh, no wonder. Okay. No. The struggle today. Please excuse. I'll just draw off to the side. It's usually easy for me to do that. So, if we start off with a ball head here, like I have drawn up in this corner, we kind of lose the parts of her in the face. Like, I'm looking here, okay, the hair wraps around up there, but I'm not sure where the fullness of your head is, and your nose here feels a bit cut off. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be 3/4 perspective or from the side profile. I think it's a bit fighting itself. Where, like, I can see the ear being 3/4, but the eye's half perspective, but the nose is not.
I think
I'm
part of
have
the struggle is that ear, because it's so big it overtakes the head, but it doesn't give us direction of like the rotation of the head. So if we're to shrink it down a bit, we might be able to get a bit more idea of how the head's turning.
Mm-hmm. Because if we
But
look at this connection point on the ear where like the two bits meet, it's right up on their eyebrow and right up on the eye. So we need a little space for everything to breathe a bit, basically.
yeah. And I think a bit of the muzzle got pulled into the mane just when they were coloring it. And that's why we've lost a bit of this the muzzle shape and direction. And that is such a easy mistake to make, such an easy thing to have happen where your marker starts getting ahead of you and you lose that nice crisp edge that you're going for. There's a few different ways of going about it. Depending on what type of marker you're using, some have like a very sharp blade to them, and you can get away with just doing like careful strokes. Other times, you want to leave that little bit of a gap there and just go in with a quick brush towards the edge just to make that nice sharp edge that you're going for, like the one that you have carried over on the ear, the one that you have for the outside of the mane, especially with the hairband. But you say you're new to drawing, and this is just sort of muscle memory, building up that knowledge of how to get those things in. But it's a lot of muscle memory. So you just got to keep going. Just keep drawing. Don't let those stupid people at school tell you otherwise. Just
Hell
keep
yeah.
doodling. Doodle in those margins.
And never apologize if your art isn't perfect. 'Cause there's no such thing as perfect art. And you're allowed to make mistakes and you're allowed to draw things wrong. You shouldn't have to apologize for your art not being good enough. You're learning. We're all learning and we'll always be learning. Even if you're, I don't know, 87, there may be mistakes you still make and there's nothing wrong with that. Mistakes aren't bad. We learn from them. They're a good thing.
And my grandmother was painting right up until 90 when she finally couldn't see the canvas. She
There
was
you go.
following Bob Ross that entire time, like 30 years of Bob Ross. It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Keep doing it.
We can't wait to see more.
All right. Anyone else have any other comments on this one? No? All right. Let's go to our next one. The next one up is by Starsong Dust. Page of Cups, art by me. Because they're still doing the tarot cards. Finally got a moment to return to my traditional pencil drawings of these adorable equines, and I'm confused by my tarot. And I'm continuing my tarot card pony series. Haha. What a ton of fun piece. I have a couple of questions. I'm also open to all critique in general. I've been struggling with getting my manes and tails to look less like blocks of hair and have more filament-like appearance. I want to continue to draw cartoon hair, but I also want to show more detail than I am. How can I achieve windswept look with strands of hair while avoiding the trap of making it look like the character has a mane that is like a mass of spaghetti? Second, I continue to struggle with shading around the face. I'm not sure how to shade effectively and maintain the details while still giving a sense of contour and shape. Help?
First of all, thank you so much for all of this information. It really helps us
Yeah.
help you better. It's so great to see, and I'm grateful to see it. I already see someone sketching in green. Absolutely wonderful things you can do, which is adding little parts. Like right now, I'm looking at the way this main's drawn, and I just see chunks. I see big chunks, and inherently, there's nothing wrong with that. That's great for a planning stage to get the flow of everything. And we see how you really put thick lines for each of these chunks. We can really see them outlined in each area. But the thing is, we want to get away from that. And what the CPC, I assume, is drawing is just you take these chunks and then you add a little bit. Perfect. I guessed right. It's the mouse. CPC is drawing these little flares, these little flicks that come off the main chunks you have drawn. And you don't have to draw individual strands, just like a piece here and there coming off of the, let's call it the main trunk, like a tree branch. So that you have your trunk, and then you're gonna have little flecks coming off towards the end, like how a tree has stuff, more things coming off towards the end of it, less from the start of it. And another thing is just avoiding these continuous lines altogether where you have from start to finish of strand. This kind of solidifies into a more tentacle feel, which is something that probably doesn't help make the hair feel like it's soft, light, and flowy. So doing less where maybe you only have like this instance CPC drew this nice little fluff here. You only have part of the line there. You don't have the full thing going towards the end. It's just something to indicate that there might be an overlap, but not going all the way through. Because when you look at hair, it all kind of gets muddled up together. You don't quite see a straight through unless it's like a very prominent thing like a braid. But honestly, just keep looking at these wonderful, wonderful swooshes and add-ons CPC's adding, and really take in all the extra lines, and even little hook-offs like down here. You see, it's just a line coming off. It's not a full, not a spike, but not a full like swoosh of hair. Just little details here and there, and even over here, there's little guys just poking off slightly. You don't need to do full spaghetti strands like you were saying, but
Yeah.
just the little
Anything to help
break-offs
break
here
it
and
up.
there.
I put some sort of like common shapes and tricks you can use up in the top. So you got like the typical, just drawing sort of two strands, sort of separated like scissors. That's cool. You could do like one bigger strand and then like cut it with like a line in the middle. That's cool. Separating big strands and with smaller or thinner ones in between helps to break up fur and hair to make it look more sort of diverse and dynamic. I like doing this sort of like cross thing where one strand is like overlapping behind or on top of another one, which helps make like that feels like a very natural sort of hair flow. You got like the sort of overlapping, like a strand comes off and then comes back on and sort of goes over the top of the sort of main body that it came out of, which is always cool. Little flicky strands of hair, absolute best. Do like little bits of strands of hair just sort of coming off of it, because that can, especially in windy situations, really helps to sell that like the hair is like messy and getting blown about all over the place. You also got these little like I can't draw anymore for some reason, but little like flicks of hair that are that can sort of come off like you might have on top of a character's head in an anime. Why can't I draw? Oh god, my thing's reconnecting. There we go. It seemed to have not done all of the little strands that I was doing. Now I can't erase this. Aggie, why are you being silly? Okay. I was circling all the ones I was talking about, but it seemed like it stopped updating for some reason. The crossover thing, little flicky strands, doing bits like this, showing the strands coming off. This little cowlick, whatever. There's all sorts of stuff you can do, and combined it makes it feel sort of flowy and messy and wild. So if you want to have windswept, that's the sort of thing you can go for. But these techniques are useful for maybe not all of them at once, but they are techniques that you can use in making hair look like it's more fluid.
I have linked in your post those two different guides that we like to share. One written by View Raster and one written by Euclid. Both are great guides on how to draw hair if you want some more reference to work off of, or different methods of doing this madness. And you were asking about shading the muzzle, or shading and particularly around the muzzle. Shading around the face. I'm not sure how to shade effectively and maintain the details while giving a sense of contour and shape. Oh. So when you start getting into actually trying to define the contour and shape, you got to start imagining the face in 3D. Getting a bunch of references is useful for that, especially if you go to the later show, like the CG animated one, because hey, light works better in CG than it does in not CG. Because you just click the light element and go.
Mhm.
Go look at them. They do great jobs at trying to define a simplistic shape. While the face shape is different, it should still have the detailed areas you're looking for. Things like how does the hair cast a shadow across the face? How does the muzzle define based on its shape? You can use some of them and pull it back into your art. Looks like someone's going at it with a shading brush right now.
I was just going to offer, using all the things that Zamzam just talked about, a lot of shading is kind of carving at something. You're
Mhm.
carving with light to define things. So sometimes it can be helpful. I see you've already kind of you shaded everything in a little bit. Something you could do now with traditional medium is then erase away from your shadowed areas. Really think about something important like the planes of the face where light would hit. And you can look up I'm sure there's very simple polygonal pony heads or such that the fandom has made. I'm not sure at the moment. I haven't totally dug into that, but it's just kind of learning like anything else, like a simple as a let me draw, I don't know, like a box. Let me get a better color. We have like a simple 3D burp burp doop doop doop. I'm freehanding it. Don't mind that. But we can use the same yellow light source here that I have, and we can think, okay, the light's coming this way, and I need to carve where the light hits. So obviously it's gonna hit the top because we're coming down. It's gonna spread against that. It won't be as strong, but we might get some, just a little on the side. But because the light's all the way over here, and this whole big box is a 3D object that can't have light permeate it, we're not gonna get basically any light on this side. So a lot of that you can practice with simple shapes. You can up your game and then say, "Oh, I'm gonna do a whole ball with its whole 3D extremities," and you're like, "Okay, so there's no light down here. We get a little more light here, and then it's bright town right up here, and then because it's a ball, it's a smooth surface. We have it gradiate across it, and the exercise goes on and on with all sorts of 3D shapes. So if you want to practice how to do a pony head, figure out what 3D shapes make a pony head. Figure out the surfaces that the light can hit. It's complex, but it's fun, and I think you'll be able to get a hold of it, especially since you're so good at like already the body has really nice shading. I can tell you kind of have a grasp on some the like feeling the 3D shape in a 2D drawing.
All right, shall we move on to our next lovely picture?
Yeah.
Keep it up. I'm interested how many more cards you have. Because I don't actually recall how many are in a tarot deck. And I'm not...
There are 72 in a tarot deck, but it depends how many they've got drawn. It would be good to know how much progress you got left to do.
All right. Okay, there's adorable pictures down at the bottom. Our next picture up.
Aww.
Oh, wait, I need
Yeah.
to see. Hold on.
Wow, call me out. Uh,
Oh, it's so cute.
Dude,
Oh,
it's a
there's
work in progress.
there's a
I
lightsaber.
love it though.
All right, our next picture up is by Tomato. To to Tomiyato. I don't know. Finally got around to drawing a cannon pony. I hope I'm starting to nail down a consistent shading style. I am actually going to look at your other pictures to see if it is consistent.
Ooh, share.
Um, it's mostly on their DeviantArt. Okay. Yes, it looks like you're developing a shading style. I would say not it has evolved in each picture. Your last two pictures are pretty close in shading style, but you've definitely gone with some harder edges on this one, which has definitely leaned into a more, well, a better shaded image, in my personal opinion. They don't appear to have any questions.
No questions?
Nope. Love that there's two ears. Get a thumbs up there.
Heck yeah.
Uh, I was saying before the stream, the champagne looks so well rendered. Like you got bubbles going on and appears to have a good swish moving around. There's motion and life to it. It's great. It's cool. That horn looks good too. The shadow is inconsistent though. So you have a shadow dropping on the back side of the mane. You also have it under the chin, so that suggests that there's a light source somewhere up here or further up, but it's towards the viewer and above the horse. So top left-hand corner of the picture at some axes towards the viewer. What we're seeing on the main or on the horn though is the shadow being cast on the bottom side of that. If we're to continue the shadow at that same one, we'd only just get the little bit that would be hanging over just some of these little corner or like the overlapping bone curl sections. I don't know what to call them. The spiral
Yeah, they're
sections.
like indents, little indents.
Yeah. You'd barely get some there, but I think overall the horn wouldn't be heavily shaded. You might get some just little fingerlings of shadow around the just trailing edges of the sides, but only towards the lower part as it tries to get a little bit covered up by the rest of it. The rest is very consistent for that lighting source, though. So good job.
Though I would also add, because I can see here that the magic generates light by the fact of the reflection on the glass, but the magic on the horn isn't casting any light on the hair itself, or even you could even have a little light pink glow on the nose catching that light from above.
Definitely pull it into the wine glass too.
Mm-mm. Yeah, we'd get like maybe a hit on the rim. You can have a little accent there.
Your background is great. It is expressing where they are, well, definitely not being distracting in the slightest. It's very good background. Very well built for this image. We can add a little bit more heavy shading, moving its way up the mane for some of these sections, and specifically down the mane over here. Just to show those bodies of separation. I know Fleur de Lis, like pristine mane, pristine everything, but even her outside, you want to sort of break up some of those bodies a little bit to give it a less of a Barbie doll hair and more of a mane.
Mm-hmm. And something else, you have these really thick lines, but you have such soft and wonderful shading on the inside. Like a line like this on the horn almost feels disruptive because if I follow the flow of this line you made, it shoots that way. And we have the hair flowing this way. So it's kind of fighting the whole rendering you did in the hair, and it kind of breaks the disillusion I have with the thick lines and soft shading. So if you do want to stick with having these very thick lines, do something that has a little more flow into the direction you're building. So you can even extend that line. You can still have the curl around the horn. I love that because it sells that the horn is a 3D object. So you can keep that curl, but have it swoosh around into the flow of the hair itself. And that's just like a little nitpicky thing, but I think it helps keep the balance of, you have this really soft hair shading. I don't want you to lose that feel because of a one line that kind of sells it going a different direction.
I like that CPC's critique is all done with cute, adorable creatures.
And a little deer exploring with pointy nose.
The catchlight you have in the eye, I would suggest changing how they're positioned. So generally, catchlight is a feature that is caused from the light shining down on it. Um, we love to see them there because they sort of give the eyes life. Uh, in this case, you're going to have your light shining on a downwards angle, right? So your catchlights would almost be picked up. Let me grab a big white one here. Boom. Like a catchlight up and then a lower catchlight to sort of show that it's coming from that angle. So using the catchlights to show the angle of the light can be useful. But at the end of the day, people do all sorts of different things. So you do you. But it looks like you have done a bit of that with the highlighting that has happened just inside of the iris there. Or sorry, cornea. Yeah, the color fill bit. All right. Anyone else have any other comments on this lovely picture?
Yeah, I just have my final thought is this nose. Um let me ask everyone here. Is this a side view or a 3/4 view? Because I know she's a
Yes.
more horsey.
I
Yeah,
would
I
say to
see it
both.
as like a it's like a very, very steep 3/4, like almost side view.
Because I know we could have like a slight lean that because she does present in a more horsey manner compared to everyone else. So I could be sold that the other eye is indeed on the other side. We wouldn't see it, but your shading here where you have this very distinct line to build a 3D muzzle. It does not make sense with the way the face is falling, especially with this nostril you have placed here. If I wanted to believe this is a side view, we wouldn't have this whole uh this whole bit here. Or if you wanted this to be a 3/4 view, I think we need to pull the muzzle out a little bit and pull the nose, the nostril to the side. Because We'd see both if this was a 3/4 view, even if it's just like the hintiest hint of the nostril. And yeah, adding on this little eyebrow bump and eyelashes to sell that 3/4 look absolutely does so much to sell it. Especially with creatures where you don't, because there are creatures out there where you just do not see the other eye, even in 3/4, because of the way the head structure is. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just something to keep in mind, anatomy wise.
All right, then. Let's roll on to our next horse. Or gallop over there? Yeah, I think gallop.
Let's canter to our next picture.
Fluffy, your mic has got really quiet. Our next picture is by Beginning Draft 9092. I give you my new OC, Razzle Dazzle Solo, Guardian of the Cup, Keeper of the Crystal Pepsi.
What an honor.
You know, I don't think I've ever had Crystal Pepsi.
Me neither.
I know I haven't.
So, okay, wait, let me grab my pen. There it is. So, this. Wait, I've lost my headphones. And I've lost the tab. Oh no. Zai cannot draw without dropping his tablet. The first thing that sticks out to me in this picture is that, oppositely from how we normally sort of critique, I think you have too much volume in this character's mane. I think it looks a little bit disconnected. So if we follow the head, it goes like here. So you can see how absolutely gigantic the mane is doing this. Whereas really, I think the mane should be. I find a color that works. Nope, that's terrible. Why did I do that? Okay. Um, the mane should be more like here. Like you got a scrunchie and ponytail coming out. It's okay to make it like wild and crazy, but it's got to feel like it's actually connected to the head as opposed to like floating on top of them. If that makes sense. So yeah, something like this. This and there we go. Just to make it easier to see what I've changed. There we go. The tail is fine, although it does come out a bit poop tail. So if we follow the spine, it ends here. That's where the tail should be coming out. No, not out of the butt. I mean, this specifically is like as if the tail came out here and it's like wrapped around under their belly. You definitely want it to be coming out the spine. So there, just like that.
My 2 cents on the main, I think we could sell the volume, but my major thing is that the type of mane you have drawn there, it feels more like a helmet than hair growing out
Yeah,
of them. It just kind of is like this curve that sits on their head because you have hair going this way, coming out the top of the ear, and then you have the ear here, and then you just have hair automatically coming out there, while at the same time you have hair bundled up back here going that way. So it there's no connection point we can really see at any point.
yeah,
Especially looking, let me get red just to point out the big one that sells to me. We have this line here going from the ponytail, and then you have a whole thing of hair there. There's nothing going into the head itself. There's no connection to the skull, to the neck, or anything. The way I think we can solve this is bunning it up a little bit more, kind of making it feel like a bun and connecting to, like, if I were to make, here's the neck, and I have the hair kind of bun up, and we focus on all the strands that connect to the scrunchie. And we have this big old nice bun where everything feels like it's tied together, and then we can have the hair coming out and going out back, and you can have this big luscious puffiness. That's great. That's fine. And then if you want the little flicks on the bottom, you can have little parts that come out from the side now that sell their own story of the hair kind of being detached at the bottom like that. And I think that just keeps everything a little more feeling like it has some place to exist, some place to attach to the head. And then we can go ahead for the front of the hair, have hair coming out and having your nice fluffy spikes, and they can live in their own worlds and feel connected but still attached to the hair or the head, and not just keep feeding into each other. Because the problem is when you have your here's my scrunchie, I'll keep it in that color, and then you have the same hair that goes this way, then also going this way and that way infinitely. It's like the connection point is the scrunchie, not the head. It's like
yeah.
a big old mop hat.
You gotta think about how it grows from the head. That's a very good option, I think.
It's very cute to see. Very cute. I
Stick 'em.
messed up on the erasing.
Oh, I did erase it. I thought we could show both.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's a bit
Many
hard.
options.
You can see Ali's, and you can see mine.
Here, let me boop.
There's two options. There we go. Hopefully that gives you some ideas of different routes you can take. I don't have anything else on this myself though.
Give him a
It's
little
very
cheek,
cute.
maybe. Just a little poke of a cheek on the other side.
Yeah.
I know the official show style doesn't do that, but we're
It
we're
always
not
improves
we're
it.
we're not
Always.
that. Yeah, cheeks are lovely. Cheeks are like super nice. He's little happy cheek makes a little happy pony
What else are you going to grab and jiggle?
and not fold.
Yes. All right, shall we go on to our next horse?
Uh-huh.
All right. I think it's CPC.
Oh no! Ah, Sam! CPC is on a roll today.
He's unstoppable.
Wait, did she draw another cute picture? Oh, I love that. So many fun little drawers.
Our last picture was submitted last week, but due to some technical difficulties, we're just going to redo it so we can toss you some critique. This is by Stinky Toad, and it's reference of my favorite pony OC so far.
I believe this one wasn't. I don't think this was the one that had the audio cut out, was it? But we can always get our Zom thoughts on it.
Well, the other
So I
one
think
didn't. Yeah, anyway. Go ahead.
so to remember from the last time we talked about this, which you won't hear, but one of the things we brought up that we were confused about is that so this is a reference sheet, but there's a lot of inconsistencies. We're not quite sure what the purpose of this little doodle here is. I definitely get the vibe that it's the same character, but there's so many things that are different from the two. So we have pointed out in a few spots, the makeup colors are switched, where the green is on the bottom and not the top, where on your actual character it's the opposite, as well as the way the facial makeup works. It doesn't cover the whole head in the actual picture, but it covers the whole head in your little image here, as well as the stripes on the back leg. There's none that exist in the little image. And I know this sounds very nitpicky, but this is a reference sheet. If I was handed this as the artist, I wouldn't know what to follow, or if this is just an alternative pattern for them or a different look that they could do, or what. I'm not sure what it's for, or how I would use it or interpret this. So any kind of note for that would be absolutely wonderful to add to this reference sheet. What this little guy is here to represent, because it's a very cute little doodle of this character, and if it has an importance or if it doesn't, either way, I think it'd be good to note. Or if it's just you forgot to add these things and they just were inconsistencies, easy enough to fix. Um, as well as you're missing one of the legs over here, and we already have someone simply just adding a little bit of a strut so that we can see all four of the legs. Important to note in a character.
Mm.
Um, what else was it?
I would also add
Okay,
another
the
view.
bunny stripe around the leg.
Yeah, the tangent stripe.
Yeah, we
Mm-mm.
talked about that last time as well.
I would add a different view, so because it seems the face is painted, so I'd want to get at least a front on and then the other side of that face, just so I know what's going on with the chaotic clown sort of makeup. Is it the same? Is it different? Um, maybe they got Kiss like style makeup on the other side. Who knows? It'd be nice to see that as the commissioner or commissioned, I guess.
and someone else is adding those little dots on the side, you have a lovely reference, but it's shaded. So as an artist, I wouldn't know what to color pick to be the right color, or if I can use any sort of like color there, or there's some gradients in some areas I don't know what I should pay attention to. Something like this can be so helpful that any artist could just color pick from these unaffected colors and will have your color what you want basically. It's the best way to inform people what you want for this character. And then we only briefly mentioned it, but yes, there's a little bit of a tangent down here on the stripes of the leg. Someone already fixed it. So you can see the two in pink here. Oh, I'm on like a lower layer. No wonder. So yeah, the two in pink right here and here, they were the exact same line and feeding into each other, which was making it hard to tell the two legs apart. As well as this tangent here where the back leg flows into this leg. I think we can really sell that better if we let me get a better color. Always picking wrong colors today. If we bring it down and have almost like a breathing gap between the two legs. Obviously, we could do it a little nicer than what I've just done, but this is just a quickie demonstration to kind of show the difference and have it like feel like this is a twisted, like the legs kind of twisted, where we see like this is where the hawk would be, and it comes down and it's facing the other side. But yeah, something like that to give a nicer silhouette to your reference sheet. Oh, and another thing I think we brought up last week was for your cutie mark, have a little area off to the side where you can draw a bigger version of the cutie mark
Yes.
so that someone could even color pick the cutie mark a little bit better or just see the cutie mark unobstructed from being on the pony's butt.
Hmm. Even better if you can have like the file as a separate image that you can send to people.
But yeah, he's good. I like them. I like the style. I love the ears. Good snoot. He's a fun character.
Yeah. All right. Well, seeing as the canvas is full and we don't got more room, we're gonna call it a day. So thank y'all for coming. See you again next week. Bye.